Welcome to Seven's premiere Australian miniseries, Shadow of the Cobra.
Αυτή εδώ. Αυτή είναι κούκλα,
ωραία κούκλα.
Κάτι που
πετελούδα.
Και σκίζει.
Αγάπη. Ορίστε.
Ελένη.
Εντάξει, μισό. Άντε, να πεις εμένα μισό πρόβλημα. Πήγαινε εκεί, να κάνεις και
2 minutes, εντάξει. Κάτι ποδάρες.
Πετελούδα.
Σκίζει. Κούκλα.
You bought everything.
How's your operation, Guy?
Oh, okay. I'll be all right as soon as we get out of here, yeah?
When are they moving you back to the prison?
Tomorrow, I think.
Lady, η ώρα πέρασε. Έλα.
Where's the sedative?
Bye. See you soon.
Yeah, okay. Hey, wait for us at the pie chair, yeah? Shh.
Γιατί δεν τρώτε την σοκολάτα σας?
Μη μιλάτε.
Η σοκολάτα είναι καλή. Φάτη.
Όχι, θα τα κρύψω τα παιδιά μου.
He won't eat the chocolate. He says he keeps it for his children.
Stupid bastard. What do we do now?
Stay cool.
But you haven't even started on mine yet.
Relax. Greeks are always late. Stay calm, the right moment will come.
Oh, man, we're there. The boat will be leaving in a few minutes.
It's just docking.
You can't. No, it's too late. People are getting on already. What are you doing? Storia los cañacos. Take me with you. Chance.
Stay here, little brother. They'll take care of you much better than I can.
So you've never heard of Charles Sobhraj, did you?
No, not until you called me.
Death stalks the pot trail. Asia's most wanted man. The devil, face to face. This is the story of the decade. And Stephen, I want you to write it.
Looks like everybody already has.
I don't mean another article. I mean a book.
Why me?
I read some of those interviews you did in Rolling Stone. I thought they were bloody brilliant.
Thanks, I thought they were pretty trivial.
That piece on Arafat was great. I mean, some of that stuff was amazing, almost unbelievable.
It's all on tape.
How'd you get him to say some of those things?
He trusted me.
That's why I'm here.
This guy Sobhraj, he's been drugging and killing travelers in Asia?
Western travelers, mostly hippies. Of course, Sobhraj denies he's killed anyone. Quite frankly, no one can think of a motive. There's no denying he's a villain. I mean, he's wanted by the police in 23 countries. But he's also highly intelligent. He speaks 6 or 7 languages. He's read every book in the world. And he's busted out of jail 15 times. 15 times. Paris, Athens, Delhi, Tehran, and the rest. Then he pops up in another country with a new face, a new name, a new passport. He once persuaded his half-brother to swap identities and spend a year in jail for him. When I was with him, he had me believing and doing all manner of things. That's his genius.
And you think he's the killer?
Yes, I do. I want you to crack him open. Find out why he does it. But he'll mislead you. He won't make it easy for you.
He sounds like a Charles Manson.
Oh, much scarier than that. Because when you're with him, you can't help liking him.
So where is he now?
In jail in Delhi.
Charged with what?
Everything short of murder 1.
Why would he talk to me?
Because I bought the exclusive rights to his story.
There's got to be more to it than that. What's in it for him?
Apart from the money, ego, But the story is the motive. And that's a mystery. What was Sobhraj's motive?
So this guy, Bill Sherman, he's paying me 20 grand up front.
Lucky you. How long will you be gone?
I don't know, 6 weeks, maybe a month.
Look, it's silly to go all that way for 6 weeks. Why don't you take 6 months? A year?
Okay, where's this coming from? Huh? You've been on my case for weeks to get back to work, and now I get an assignment. I mean a genuine assignment. It could be the biggest break of my career.
Sitting in a stinking jail with a mass murderer could be the biggest break of your career.
Okay, Chris, what's behind this?
I don't like it when you go away for 2 weeks, let alone 2 months. Things happen to people when they're separated. I don't want anything to happen to us.
Neither do I. But I gotta do this. I mean, I wanna do it. I can't afford not to do it. So come with me.
Come with you.
Come with me.
Now, wait a minute. You're asking me to leave my job for the sake of yours?
No, you can help me with a book. We'll write it together. We'll have a great time. It'll be like a professional honeymoon. Come on, you'll love India.
I'd love to. I'd love to. Thanks.
Okay, what's his name?
Stephen Carey.
And who does he write for?
He writes for a lot of people.
Is he good?
He's the best.
Look, I need to know if he's going to be sympathetic about my life bill. We're talking about a very serious matter. This is a book that is going to describe Charles Sobhraj. I don't need somebody who's going to judge me, okay?
That's it. Had enough. I understand you've worked all your life and you can't afford a holiday.
Where do you want to go?
Anywhere but here.
Okay, let's do it.
What with?
Read this.
You've got this much? We've got this much? How did we do this?
It's called savings, Dan. Remember savings comes before spending.
Bit of interest.
Every day of the year.
I can't take this. You saved it. It's your money.
No, it's our money, Stan.
For a minimum deposit of $50, a State Bank investment account allows you to watch your money grow while you earn high interest calculated daily, and your money's at call.
Seems a shame to spend it.
I'm sure you'll think of something.
State Bank investment account. We never forget. It's your money.
Only one airline flies you to cities like this, or this, or this. Because if you fly British Airways to London return, we'll give you a London return flight to any one of 19 European cities free. So if you want to fly free, fly British Airways.
When sinusitis takes hold, the congestion, the pressure, and the pain inside your head are almost impossible to bear. Now there's sinus relief from the makers of Panadol. While a decongestant helps clear your sinuses, the paracetamol relieves the pain. New Panadol Sinus Relief helps free you from the grip of sinusitis.
There's one luxury car in Europe that's running circles around the others. With the German Quattro all-wheel drive system you won't find in Mercedes. And with Germany's only fully galvanized body shell you won't find in BMW. Now Europe's largest selling prestige car has arrived. Audi. You'll find you're moving in the best of circles.
Monday on A Country Practice.
For me, isn't it?
Is Lucy's past about to reshape her future?
As far as he's concerned, it's on again.
An old romance rekindled.
I want to remind him what he gave up, don't I?
Is a confident doctor about to be bitterly disappointed?
I am taking away your best nurse, aren't I?
Will an old love take Lucy from Wandon Valley?
He's too slick.
Why are her friends so suspicious of him?
You're not going to make this easy for me, are you? I want you to marry me.
A Country Practice, 7:30 Monday on 7.
Good morning.
Hi. Reservations for Carrie?
Charles? He's arrived.
He's here? Now?
Yes. You meet him tomorrow. You told me you're bringing your wife along, Stephen.
I'm not his wife.
Bill, I needed someone to help me with the book.
I hope you both know what you're up against. This is not a holiday.
I know that. That's why Chris is here. She's a good journalist.
I'm sure you are, Chris. Have you ever had to deal with anyone like Sobhraj before?
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, that's what I'm trying to tell you. You don't know what you're getting into here.
You know we're being followed.
Of course we're being followed. It's just the police. Don't worry about it.
Why would they be following us, for God's sake?
Sobhraj is one of the most wanted men in the world.
Well, what's that got to do with us?
The Indians are suspicious of anyone connected to him. Maybe the authorities think we're here to help him escape.
That's ridiculous.
Nothing is ridiculous in India, Chris. And just remember, Sobhraj is only on trial for attempted murder here. Most of the killings happen in Thailand. Thais are incredibly embarrassed. They're pulling every stroke in the book to get him extradited.
What would they do with him?
Firing squad. But look, I can't tell you how brilliant Sobhraj is. He's 3 moves ahead of everyone. He's got the Indian judicial system all fired up against the Thais, so they're desperate to keep him here as a point of honor.
Yeah, the house across the road. 150,000 it went for.
What? That dumb? How much?
150?
What's that make us worth?
Enough to start looking for a bigger place.
Why? We've got all the room we need here.
And a very nice room it is too, Graham.
If you have already proved yourself with your first home loan, talk to State Bank about your second.
I couldn't stand it again. Appointments with the bank manager, applications in triplicate.
They just don't like parting with their money.
They're not the only ones.
At State Bank, we won't send you to the end of the queue. Anyone who's already done what you've done deserves better.
Okay. First we'll find a house, then we'll talk to the bank.
State Bank Victoria. We never forget. It's your money.
When you love a real Italian sauce, a sauce made with authentic tomato paste, garlic, onions, herbs and spices, Lego's Bolognese sauce. It's all there. Just add to the mince. And in no time...
Ready?
A rich, thick, authentic sauce. And the flavor?
Lego's Authentico!
Lego's spaghetti sauces. Authentic Italian flavor.
Bravo!
Hello, darling. Bring my car home, please.
Staying alive. Staying alive. You don't have to be a star to appreciate this bar. Just the 3 sensations in a Cadbury chocolate supreme.
Crisp, light wafers, lots of peanuts, covered in Cadbury Dairy Milk Chocolate. Make this the 3-star sensation bar.
You don't have to go too far to love this bar.
Because the biggest savings in the history of homewares and hardware are about to hit.
Matthew Broderick is a master of computer games.
We're in.
And now he's found a new game to play.
Shall we play a game? Go to jail for that.
But on the wrong computer.
How's happening? I don't know, but it's great.
What the hell's happening here?
Oh my God.
Who are you working with?
Nobody.
I don't have to believe you.
It's gonna start a war. Is this a game or is it real? 2.
Matthew Broderick.
1.
Ali Sheedy.
War Games.
Wednesday night on 7.
What is all this?
This is the legal bazaar. All these guys are lawyers waiting to be hired.
You sure you know where you're going, Phil?
Sure. Yeah, it's this way. Come on.
Why don't we ask some?
I think it's this way.
I read they arrested Sobhraj's girlfriend as well.
She should be on the stand today.
Oh, Mr. Sherman, I spoke to the judge. You and your colleagues can sit over there. Picture.
At least we get to sit. Those two guys are Shastri and Mortimer, the defense lawyers. One had just stood up as Gopal, prosecution.
What about those two guys over there?
The one on the right is Inspector Gupta. He's the one who captured Sobhraj. Fancies himself as India's Sherlock Holmes. This is the biggest case he's ever cracked, so he's not going to be letting Sobhraj slip through his fingers, I can tell you that.
The guy on the left?
That's Rapinda, Gupta's spy master. See if you can stay out of his way.
Where's Sobhraj?
He'll be here any minute. Here he is now.
What's he doing? Is he coming here for?
He does what he likes. Charles.
Bill.
This is the journalist I spoke about, Stephen Carey.
Charles?
The beautiful young lady?
My co-worker.
Miss Royston.
Please, sit down. I see you are a very fortunate man, Stephen. I'm not so fortunate, huh? Many years wasted in jails and courts like this. Look, here comes one of my persecutors now.
And how are you today, Mr. Sherman? Morning, Inspector Gupta. These are the friends I mentioned. Chris Royston, Stephen Carey.
How do you do?
Inspector?
Welcome to Delhi.
Thank you.
You will be staying long?
I'm not really sure at this point.
However long it is, I hope you enjoy your stay.
That man is evil. He wants to have me destroyed. But I don't think he will succeed, do you?
Silence! Go to the right!
Your Honor, a scurrilous item in the Times of India today states that my client, Monique Leclerc, was a member of a notorious gang of international criminals.
So, Stephen, you write a bestseller about my life, huh? And perhaps a movie.
That depends on what you tell us.
I promised Bill to tell you everything. But you know, first, I must trust you. You may have to give evidence against me. These tapes will be used as evidence.
If you're innocent, what do you have to hide?
Chris, you must understand my life. I was forced sometimes by circumstances into minor illegal activities. But this I have never denied.
I need the tapes for the book, for accuracy. It'll make it easier for me.
Gupta may get his hands on your tapes. He may take things out of context. He may distort the truth.
I'll assure you the tapes of our conversations will never be made public. I'll give you my word.
We have examined enough legal procedure to last another 10 trials. Please put forward your case.
Very well, Your Honor. I'm much obliged for your patience.
Court resumes in 5 minutes. You look for out there. I'll try down here.
Hello.
What do you want?
Just to talk?
You're a reporter. You want his story.
Yes, and yours.
I tried to talk to someone before, but they stopped me. They will stop you.
Who will?
They will. They won't let anyone help me. Charles won't let anyone help me.
I'm allowed to talk to him. I'm sure it's all right if I talk to you. Maybe I can help you.
I'm sick now. And I don't feel strong enough to fight them. I think I'm going crazy. You're on his side, aren't you?
Whose?
Charles. You will help him manipulate me to make a good story, huh? Stupid, pathetic girl who was a stone around his neck. I only try to love him. I still do love him.
Do you think he still loves you?
What do you know, huh? You are so beautiful. You don't need to love anyone but yourself. You don't know what it is to need someone. And you don't know what it feels to have a man like Charles make you need him.
What are you doing here? Just leave her alone. Shh. Oh, come on.
have Your Honor's permission to approach the bench, please?
Suppose. Please proceed.
Does this book mean anything to you, Charles? Other than a way of making money?
Money? Stephen, I've never been short of ways of making money.
And how's that?
You see, they're so busy telling lies about me that they forget. I was a very famous, very rich gem dealer in Bangkok. I made hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. And yet here, I'm supposed to have killed 9 people for a total of what? $5,000? Does that make any sense to you, Stephen? You know, it's funny. People have often said to me that I'll be famous one day. You see my hand? Yeah, show me your hand. You'll be famous too, huh? See? We'll both be famous together. My life is a very special life, Stephen. And you must tell the truth about it.
I know, Charles. That's exactly what you have to tell me. The truth.
Bird, bird, bird. Bird is a word. Oh, well, everybody's heard about the bird. Bird, bird. Bird is the word. Oh, well, don't you know about the bird? Well, everybody knows that bird is the word.
We are going to present for you next Monday the first Christmas television special for the year.
I am so excited!
We're going to do an old English panto for you.
Fabulous.
Join the celebration presented by Jenny Craig Weight Loss Centres.
Bird is the word.
There's one luxury car in Europe that's running circles around the others. With the German Quattro all-wheel drive system you won't find in Mercedes. With Germany's only fully galvanized body shell you won't find in BMW. With dynamic German driving capabilities you won't find in Volvo. And with luxurious German saloon comfort you won't find in Porsche. Now, Europe's largest selling prestige car has arrived. Audi. You'll find you're moving in the best of circles.
Look, new larger Chisels pack. Win a week's first-class holiday in Paris for you and 3 friends. Or one of 50 new meal weekends for 2. Details on new 200-gram pack. Chisels, the party's just begun in Paris.
Most of the time, I'm happy about the way I look. I try to watch what I eat, but that's easy with Continental Slimmer Soup. It's delicious, full-flavoured soup with croutons, but without the calories. Continental Slimmer Soup, 44 little calories that are big on taste.
Nobody makes soup in a cup like Continental Slimmer Soup.
Hold off on hammers. Put off buying paint. Because the biggest savings in the history of homewares and hardware are about to hit.
What do you think of him?
I'm not sure.
I was quite impressed.
I liked the way he kept touching me. I could think of those hands of his snapping necks.
Glad you're not judging my tribe.
Gave me the creeps, that's all.
Stephen, I was born in Saigon even as the bombs of the Viet Minh were falling all around. My earliest memories are set against a vicious and pointless war. My beloved father's name was Sobhraj, a handsome man, very light skin. Stephen, my father, was always away, traveling here and there in the world. Always business, and always so busy. But when he came home, he'd bring me wonderful presents. I would long for him to return. And then one time, he brought instead a wife. Obviously, my mother, she was just a mistress. She was in despair. And to punish my father, she went and married a French soldier and forbade me ever to see my father again. She would tie me up so that I would not escape. She would lock me in cupboards for days without food like an animal. And so, I behaved like one. I became cunning. I ran away. I would escape. I ran away many times. But by now, my father's new wife, she has children of her own, and I'm not welcome there. Where could I go? I was a young boy. Handsome and clever, but not clever enough to understand why no one loved me. So I'd go back to my mother again, thinking that finally perhaps she could love me. But instead she'd give me to my stepfather, who'd beat me. And this he enjoyed. And this I could not understand either. Stefan, every day I would walk home from school crying with fear. Every night I was so miserable I would wet my bed. And every morning, he would beat me for being such an animal. This went on for years until... Do you know what they did in the end? Every night when I went to bed, they would strap my hands by the bed and tie a string around my penis. Can you imagine that?
God, poor bastard.
So now you're not so sure he's guilty?
I never said he was.
Those hands of his snapping necks?
Yeah, well.
Yeah, well.
You listen to that, it doesn't sound like someone capable of murder.
Assuming that it's true.
You think he made it up?
You never know, he could have. Guy with a gun to his head, he might say anything.
Well, we don't have a gun to his head. Why would he lie to us?
I'll get it.
Good evening.
Inspector.
I'm sorry to disturb you at this late hour. May we talk inside?
Why not? Come in.
Thank you. Miss Royston?
Okay. Have a seat, Inspector.
Thank you. My card, by the way.
Thank you.
I hope you understand why I wish to speak with you outside my office.
I'm not sure I do.
Then let me explain to you, Miss Royston. Charles Sobhraj is most adept at getting people to do his bidding. One of my own men might be a spy. Anyone who comes in contact with him must be suspect.
Including us?
Anyone.
Inspector, our dealings with Sobhraj are strictly professional. Bill Sherman told you exactly why we're here.
There is an English saying I particularly like, Mr. Carey. Actions speak louder than words.
What is it we're supposed to have done?
Nothing. Yet. But you have no idea what kind of animal you are dealing with in Sobhraj. I am worried, not what you have done, but what he might get you to do.
Could I offer you a cup of tea, Mr. Gupta?
Thank you. That would be very nice.
Inspector, I understand you helped capture Sobhraj.
Indeed, I arrested him.
Really? Could you tell us about it?
With pleasure, yes. You see, I had been aware of Sobhraj for some time. He was wanted for several robberies, all involving drugs, you know.
You mean drugging the victims?
Yes, that's what made me suspicious in the first place. Because it was always the same pattern. And I was almost certain that the challenge of dealing with this evil thug once and for all was being handed to me. He always met his victims at famous tourist haunts, in this case, the Taj Mahal. He would act the part of the expert guide, the indispensable friend, and then arrange to meet them at their hotel.
Daniel.
Voilà les antibiotiques que je vous ai promis. Vous devez tous prendre des précautions contre la dysenterie. C'est vraiment très sérieux ici.
Et ils sont sûrs, au moins.
Tu penses que j'essaie de vous empoisonner, peut-être? Assurez-vous que tout le monde les prend. C'est très important. 1 avant le dîner et 2 après. C'est clair, non?
J'y veillerai.
Et nous serons enchantés si vous nous joignez pour le dîner, Daniel.
Merci, madame. Rien ne me ferait plus plaisir.
Eh bien, à plus tard.
À ce soir.
Since his escape from Thailand, Sobhraj was in desperate straits. Remember, the man is a terrible gambler, and here he is in Delhi with no money. His accomplice is ill and complaining, so he decides to risk everything on one throw. He plans his biggest ever coup. He will drug and rob a whole busload of people, all at once, right here in Delhi. Sobhraj made all his new friends take the pills during their dinner. Antibiotics, he said. They were supposed to eat dinner, go to bed, and become unconscious so that he can rob them. All very neat, except for one problem. Young people do not like to go to bed after dinner. They like to stay up all night and play their guitars. I could have told him that.
Fils du roi s'en va chassant avec son beau fusil d'argent. Là le bonbon, là le joli vent, là le bonbon, mamie m'appelle, là le bonbon, là le joli vent, là le bonbon.
Oh non, pas elle, pas Marie, mon Dieu, ma chérie. Oh, oh là.
Il meurt. Que quelqu'un appelle le directeur.
T'étais empoisonné?
Ce doit être les comprimés.
Mais c'est impossible. Ils sont inoffensifs.
Assassin, vous nous avez empoisonnés.
Non. Est-ce que certains d'entre vous ont pris de la quinine contre la malaria?
J'en ai pris.
Vous voyez, c'est évident.
Ouais, j'en ai pris comme une...
Bon, on va pas s'en sortir comme ça. Hein. Vous deux, bon, elle va mieux. Vous deux, vous venez avec moi. On va s'occuper de lui. Il n'est pas question de le laisser s'en sortir. Il est définitivement responsable de cette chose-là. Allez.
Sobhraj could have escaped at any moment, but his ego would not let him. He always believes he can talk his way out of anything, you see.
I've never seen anything like it. I bought the pills from a doctor in Connor's Circus. I'll take you there if you like. Bastard must have sold me all stock. Of course, he must be arrested. Ah, Inspector. At last, someone with some responsibility. You can help us sort out this unfortunate mix-up.
Your name?
Daniel Chomet.
Very good. And your real name?
My real name is Daniel Chomet. I'm a French citizen and I demand to be released immediately, or I assure you that...
Drop your trousers.
Pardon?
Your real name is Charles Sobhraj, and you are under arrest. The charge is attempted murder, and I will make personally sure that you are prosecuted to the full extent of the law. Then we picked up his girlfriend, Monique Leclerc, but neither would admit to anything. So I went to work. For 5 days, we played cat and mouse. That is the part I most enjoy. I read all the books, you see. And finally, he succumbed to my psychology.
Psychology?
Psychology, yes. I spoke very quietly. I did not browbeat nor threaten. Only I appealed to his ego. I am sure you have noticed he has one. Yes, I flattered him. And on the 6th day, hey presto, he admitted to being Sobhraj.
Congratulations.
Very good.
You are getting $20,000 from your publisher for this story, I think.
How do you know that?
It is my business to know everything in Delhi, Miss Royston.
Inspector, $20,000 doesn't go very far where we come from.
You say you are writing a book. Perhaps you are. Just remember that I have the definitive dossier of information on this man and his accomplices. I think it is better that we cooperate. Otherwise, I might be forced to a less charitable view of your motives for being here.
Thank you, Inspector.
Thank you for the tea. Good night.
Good night.
What a snack.
Wonder how much he wants.
You're not going to pay him anything, are you?
Might have to. He obviously sees it as fair trade. Hell, he probably won't make $20,000 in his entire lifetime.
That's not the point.
No, it's not the point. The book's the point. If bribing that smartass is the only way to go, then that's exactly what we'll have to do. Don't get righteous on me, Chris. You know as well as I do, in this job, you're a journalist first. Moralist second.
It's just what worries me.
Good evening from Peter Mitchell. The Liberal Party has gagged its members to stop any more public brawling over pre-selections. Farmers near Woodend claim stud sheep worth thousands of dollars are at risk after recent attacks by dogs. And Australia has its fingers crossed for golfer Wayne Grady tonight in the British Open. Seven's full coverage from 10:30. For now, from the news team, good night.
7 Nightly News at 6:30. Hinch at 7. Weeknights on 7.
Have you unscrabbled a prize yet at McDonald's? Craig Rigby has. He's just won a brand new Malvern Star BMX bike. There's still lots more to be won and thousands of other prizes, including Holden Novas, continental holidays to Disneyland, Epson portable computers, Samsung TVs, videos and microwaves, Scrabble sets and McDonald's food. Just collect the letters needed to complete a word on your game board or win instantly. So hurry and unscrabble a prize at McDonald's.
Until now, one pad was much the same as another, and they all had their shortcomings. But Kotex pads have something that'll change all that forever. It's an ultra-absorbent panel called Ultrasorb, and it works by drawing fluid quickly in and controlling it within the pad. Only one pad offers this new kind of protection. Kotex. A small panel in pads, a big leap in protection.
Look, Mummy! It's Devondale country!
Devondale country. Hello, dear. Like to taste some Devondale coffee?
Devondale,
Yes,
the
please.
best cheese in the country. Mild, vintage and tasty. Australian Colby too.
Tastes sort of different, doesn't it?
Yeah, you can taste the Devondale country, can't you? Devondale, the country cheese that's come to town.
One weekend a month, 2 weeks a year. Do something for yourself. Join the Army Reserve.
For information, call 662 2333.
Here is the car that we've been waiting for. It's a great way of driving and a whole lot more. Hey, have you driven a Ford? Have you driven a Ford?
सोभराज हम सब तुम्हारे साथ हैं
पीछे हटो पीछे हटो रास्ता छोड़ो पीछे हटो
So, Inspector, why are you so impatient to get my head?
To get your head, I beg your pardon?
Oh, so polite. All these tricks you use against me, huh?
The only thing I use against you, Charles Sobhraj, is justice.
Justice? Where is the justice here? Huh? One man against so many. You say you play by the rules, but they're your rules. And they're so unfair.
Not at all. Why do you say that?
Do you know what I like about you, Inspector? You can lie even better than me. And still smile.
Take him away.
We will continue now from where we finished last evening.
Poor Monique. This is so cruel. She's not strong enough for this. It'll break her.
And may I remind you, Miss Leclerc, that you are still under oath? You say in your statement, Miss Leclerc, that once back in Delhi, you went with the man you knew as Alain Gautier to the Vikram Hotel.
Did I?
It is here in your statement, page 12. Do you wish to see it?
Do I have to answer all these questions? I've answered them so many times before.
Miss Leclerc, you are not here as a witness. You are here as a defendant, charged with a most serious crime.
But I did not do anything.
Then the best way for us to establish that is for you to tell the truth and the whole truth to this court. Now, you say in your statement that Gautier, or Sobhraj, went to the hotel to meet a group of French students that he'd met a few days before in Agra. Is that correct?
You know, they forced her to sign that statement. Another one of their tricks, huh?
Answer the question. You say in your sworn statement that you were with Sobhraj when he entered the hotel with the sole intention of drugging and robbing those students. Is it not so?
She only said that because the police blackmailed her, huh?
Your Honor, please. He's blatantly intimidating the witness.
Restrain the prisoner. You are intimidating her. Huh? You and this phony justice here.
Order, order.
Don't let him intimidate you, darling. Tell him the truth. Tell him I only wanted to help those people. Tell them.
Restrain the prisoner.
He confuses her. This is so unfair. How can I keep silent?
You will have every opportunity to defend yourself in this court, Mr. Sobhraj. And now, if you will not keep silent, I will have to continue with the rest of it without you. Miss Leclerc?
I don't know anything about it. I saw nothing.
Are you now revising your sworn testimony?
Yes.
Speak up.
Yes. Yes, yes.
Then you lied in your statement to the police.
Yes, I lied.
Order, order. The court is adjourned for 30 minutes.
परमिट ठीक है भाई जाने दो
Stephen, welcome to my office.
How are you today?
Oh, the best. Always the best. So tell me, Stephen, have you got a plan to get the tapes out of the country?
Leave that to me.
Well, you will be stopped at the airport and searched.
If I am, they won't find anything.
They must not.
Charles, I gave you my word Gupta won't get his hands on the tape, so let me worry about that, okay?
You will not make copies?
Why would I want to make copies? It increases the risk of losing.
I just want you to understand that my life is at stake.
Look, Charles, you have got to trust us. Chris and I are the only ones who will ever hear those tapes. If anyone else gets their hands on them, we haven't got a book. Now, I want to talk about the murders.
Yes?
You didn't kill those people. Who did?
It's more than that, Stephen. Much more. Look, we have seen the work of your American heroes. Vietnam, Nicaragua. Now, what makes your sort of terrorism legitimate, huh? Because you carry a flag? Pray to God? Get a medal when you kill? There is only one law. The law of the jungle. And we all play the same game. Governments, they can only pretend that they don't. Or else we have a choice. One choice to leave. Either we kill or we be killed.
I want some straight answers, Charles. Because if I don't get some, there's no book and there's no money. Do you understand? Did you kill any of these people?
The Chinese have very long memories. What they remember most is the Opium Wars.
Make a great politician, Charles.
Listen. Now they take their revenge, flooding the West with heroin. In Hong Kong, there is an organization that has invested huge sums of money, millions, in the heroin trade. I have a contract with this organization, and my contract says I must eliminate amateur couriers that get in their way. Now, this is very important for you to understand.
You're telling me you were hired to kill freelance drug couriers?
Purely as a matter of business, yes.
To carry, Margot.
Of course she can come in. She's my friend. Chris, how lovely and fresh you look this morning.
I brought you an ice cream.
Thank you. Will you sit there, please? You see, Stephen, you only have to look around. You'll find many people who like me.
Sure of it.
Charles, I want to interview Monique.
You've spoken to her already, I think, huh?
Yes, but I want regular access, like Stephen has with you.
You must treat her gently. She's like a frightened animal. Oh, and this will cost you some money as well. It's just for the guards, you know.
I'm afraid Chris is against bribery on principle, Charles.
How much?
1,000 rupees. You know, I plan to go from here soon.
When?
Oh, whenever I like.
Better finish your ice cream first.
When do you think is the best time, you know, for publicity for the book?
Do you really think you can just walk out of here?
Listen, I can go whenever I like. My desire to be free is far greater than their desire to keep me here.
The worst time in my life? The worst time was when my wife, Renee, left me. She was under arrest in Tehran. I blew up half the jail to bust her out, and then she said she couldn't take it anymore. Took our beautiful little daughter, Shanti, with her back to France. I've never seen them again, Stephen. They were the only two people who ever mattered to me.
Where are you going?
Nobody knows Melbourne like 7. 7 nightly news knows Melbourne.
My time is very precious, so I need a news service that's concise and to the point.
I get the feeling that Sandy, Landy and Drew love their sport as much as we do.
I think credibility is very important, but so is innovation.
Nobody knows Melbourne like 7.
Hi, have you heard the news?
I can't believe it's true.
I couldn't wait to let you know.
I just had to talk to you.
You won't believe what's happened.
The new reduced international direct dial prices from OTC have got everyone talking. We've cut the cost of calls to 45 of the most popular countries.
It doesn't cost as much to make a call.
To stay in touch. OTC. Our reduced rates have got everyone talking.
Unlike other washing powders, Cold Power is specially made to remove dirt and odours in cold water. And now, because it's been power boosted, it works even better. When it comes to cold water washing, Cold Power is unbeatable because nothing else has been specially made with cold water in mind. New, power-boosted Cold Power. The rest just aren't in the race.
Calling out around the world, are you ready for a brand new beat? Corolla's here and the time is right for dancing in our street. So come on, every guy, grab a girl, everywhere around the world they'll be dancing.
New twin-cam Corolla, the world's most wanted car.
Oh, what a feeling, Toyota.
Well, Charles, you're catering officer. What's for dinner tonight?
Steak, Parmigiana.
Oh.
I take a beautifully lean oyster blade steak, seared and sealed on both sides. And then I sauce it lightly in a mixture of onions, basil, and white wine. And then finally, I top off the steak with black olives and melted slices of mozzarella cheese.
Oh, sharp.
For new ways to serve old favourites, today's steak.
When you watch Hinch, something extraordinary will happen. You'll feel things, and you should, because Hinch feels things too. While Hinch and his reporters may see more pain and hardship than the average person on the street, it doesn't mean they feel any less. The Hinch team doesn't merely go through the motions of reporting events. Rather, they go through some emotions in bringing you what really matters. Hinch. He won't always make you feel good, but he'll make you feel something.
Qu'est-ce que ça vous fait? Mr. Carey. Sit down, please. How may I help you?
I want to know why we're under surveillance.
What exactly do you mean?
I mean the spy hole that someone drilled through the wall of our hotel room.
How dare you come into my office and accuse me of such a preposterous thing? May I remind you that you are visitors in my country?
May I remind you, Inspector, that if you want to know anything about your visitors, simply ask them.
To put it bluntly, Mr. Carey, how could I trust the answers you might give? You are consorting with a very dangerous and persuasive man.
I'm fully aware of that.
I truly wonder if you are. You seem all too friendly with him, if you want my frank opinion.
That, Inspector, is my psychology.
Perhaps it is. Let us hope. But even so, your intimacy with Sobhraj puts you in an interesting position. There is the question of withholding evidence. Not to mention what you might know of his possible escape plans. Why should we not keep an eye on you? You tell me that.
Inspector, I can assure you I know far less about this case than you do. To be perfectly honest with you, I'm completely confused by the whole thing.
In what way confused?
Well, I find it hard to believe that an intelligent man would do the sort of things he's supposed to have done for a few passports and little money. There's got to be more to it than that.
Such as?
Well, I'm only guessing here, but maybe narcotics.
No. He despises drugs and drug users.
But he used drugs on his victims, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Ironic, isn't it?
हाथी का बच्चा चल रहा है साइकिल
Of course, madam.
Sækre over det. Så I melder ikke? Hटो.
सब चले आए हैं हाँ आप चाहिए हमको मालूम है
Hello, Monique. Did you get the message from Charles? He thought it'd be a good idea if we spoke together. The book. Do you mind if I ask you some personal questions? Why did you stay with him so long? I mean, you must...
I had no choice. As soon as I arrived to live with him, he took my passport and all my money. But of course, I trusted him. I loved him. Every day, always, even right to the end, when all I wanted was to get away, he would say, "No, wait. Just 10 days more. Just help me a little longer, and then you can go." I waited years for that 10 days to be over. And then when I finally planned my escape, we were arrested. So, you see, we were meant to be together. Charles is my fate.
And you still love him, even after that?
More than ever. You see, this 1 year I have here with him in jail is better than the 2 years outside. Here, I am close to him all the time. Here, there is no one else.
If there's anything I can do, Monique, as a friend.
Thank you. There's something you can do. You can give these letters to Charles. I know he's waiting to hear from me.
Then one day, when I was walking home from school, I heard a sound like thunder. There was a sheet of white light, a massive explosion. Everyone around me was killed instantly. And yet I, somehow, amidst all these burning bodies, had survived. Stefan, I knew in that instant that I was protected. Others around me may suffer, but it is my fate to go through the fire and survive. You are like a mirror, aren't you, Stephen?
What do you mean?
You reflect what happens around you, but it makes no lasting impression. Have you ever read René Lassin's Characterology and Personality?
No.
I have. I have studied the human character and the human potential. So I can predict how anyone will react in a given situation. This way, I can know my enemy and make him into my friend.
What do you make of my character, for example?
You? Oh, you, Stephen, you have great warmth and sympathy for people. You make them feel understood. You, too, can make anyone your friend. You're like a child in many ways. Your work is your play. You love adventure, and you are no stranger to self-love. But that is good, you know, as long as it doesn't go too far. Are you vain, Stephen?
Not really, no.
No, but you're a really good liar, huh? Particularly to yourself. And you don't mind twisting the facts to make a good story, huh?
I don't do that.
We all do that, Stephen. But you find this particularly hard to admit.
Is that it?
Do you know, Aesop's fable about the ant and the grasshopper? Well, you are like the grasshopper, singing and dancing all summer long with no thought for tomorrow. Remember, Stephen, after summer comes winter.
What about your character, Charles?
Me? Oh, Stephen, unlike you, I act on the basis of what happened before. I'm a prisoner of my own past. That's what makes my type so dangerous, you see. Hello, Chris.
Am I interrupting something?
Do you want something?
Yes, I brought you these. For Monique.
I'll see you back at the hotel, Chris.
Okay.
No, it's okay, Stephen. We'll continue this tomorrow.
Yeah, the house across the road. 150,000 it went for.
What? That dumb? How much?
150?
What's that make us worth?
Enough to start looking for a bigger place.
Why? We've got all the room we need here.
And a very nice room it is too, Graham.
If you have already proved yourself with your first home loan, talk to State Bank about your second.
Couldn't stand it again. Appointments with the bank manager, applications in triplicate. They just don't like parting with their money.
They're not the only ones.
At State Bank, we won't send you to the end of the queue. Anyone who's already done what you've done deserves better.
Okay. First we'll find a house, then we'll talk to the bank.
State Bank Victoria. We never forget. It's your money.
Great goal, champ. Let's go home.
Oh, it's Big Ben time.
Hope there's one for me, Mum. Terrific. Great pie, Mum.
Oh, don't tell me you're still hungry.
No, but I think there's someone at the door.
Big Ben, when your tummy tells you it's time.
At Coles and Garrard, we've always understood how important it is to choose just the right pair of glasses.
An hour?
Bob chooses 1 hour service. Sally
What with
could
those?
choose all day.
No. No.
1 hour service for Bob.
Oh, yes.
For Sally, Coles and Garrard, as you've always known us.
Yeah, the pair you said. Now, is this Mr. Coles or...
Coles and Garrard, always your best choice.
There's only one top-selling Australian small car that gives you a lively 1.6-litre engine, 5-speed manual transmission, hatchback, and AM/FM cassette stereo. Ford Laser GL Hatch at just $13,990. It's almost too good to be real.
Would you believe I cook something this extravagant? You're saying, where does she find the time? Actually, I whipped it up in just over 30 minutes. I admit I did have help from new Continental Cookbook casseroles. I simply added apricots and sliced onion to fresh chicken pieces, poured in the seasoning mix and, voila, apricot chicken curry. OK, it looks great, but did they like it? Well, they didn't exactly leave it. New Continental Cookbook casseroles. The results speak for themselves.
I'd probably lose my head at this sort of speed.
Tuesday, Simon takes a crash course in the life-saving technology of the crash helmet and what he discovers could affect any bicycle or motorbike rider. Amanda reveals a recipe that takes scrap wood and cooks it into timber as reliable as steel.
The strongest wood-based building material available.
And Maxine discovers a mine that's tapping into a clean, cheap energy beneath the earth.
It extracts nothing from the earth but heat.
AMP presents Beyond 2000, Tuesday.
है चमक हम आशिक हैं मरते भी नहीं हुस्न वाले हमको दीवाना कहते हैं हुस्न वाले हमको दीवाना कहते हैं हुस्न वाले हमको दीवाना कहते हैं हुस्न वाले हमको दीवाना कहते हैं
What are you gonna have?
Really don't feel like it.
Why'd you bring us here then?
Because it was Charles' favorite restaurant. I wanted to see what it was like.
You ready to order?
Yes, I'll have the rashami kebab and rice and beer, please.
A beer, thanks.
So what were you two talking about today?
His past and my character. We had just started to talk about his character.
When you were so rudely interrupted. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I'd been with Monique and I
Didn't think.
So do you think he could have done the murders or not?
What I think doesn't matter.
Well, you must have an opinion by now.
You obviously do. Chris, we just started this thing. We can't have preconceived ideas about where we might end up.
I'm just concerned you'll lose your perspective if you get too close to him.
It's crazy. I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm here to understand Sobhraj. And until I do, I have to suspend my judgment, and you have to suspend yours. We're here to write a book, not conduct a trial. If Charles decides we've already found him guilty, he's never going to tell us the truth.
To the book, then. Keep walking. I think we're being followed. One of them was in the restaurant.
Wait, Stephen! Don't be in such a hurry. Just want to talk to you.
Who are you?
I'm Daniel. It's all right, please. I know about you. I saw you in the court talking to Charles.
You know him?
We were in jail together. The police are watching me, so I have to be very careful. And you are Chris. Charles is our friend, huh? He's an extraordinary person. He knows many things. He has many strengths.
What do you want, Daniel?
From you? Nothing from you. But maybe you want something from us, huh? For the book? Yes. Charles wanted for you to meet us all. All his friends.
There's more of you?
Oh, yes, Guy. He is coming soon from Paris, huh?
Guy who?
Guy's a brother of Charles.
You're here to break him out, aren't you?
India's an ocean into which Charles will soon disappear, like a drop of water.
Wonder if having this wonderful bath doesn't have any bloody water in it. What's the matter?
Telex from Bill. Scheduled a bunch of meetings in Bangkok. Interpol, some witnesses, possible access to files.
So, what's the problem?
Set it up for this week. I can't break it off with Charles right now. How am I supposed to be in two places at once?
You don't have to be. I'll go.
That'd be a good idea. I think you should go.
Good morning, Stephen. You look fresh this morning.
Charles, I gotta say, you do very well for yourself.
I know how to look after myself. And everything is available here for a price.
Including freedom?
Oh, yes, that too. I've always escaped when it suited me.
And you've always been caught.
The world is the same. But I'm different. I'm much stronger now. And I have many friends who will help me.
I know. We met 2 of them last night.
Daniel, silly boy. But he does what I tell him. How's Chris?
She's gone to Thailand.
Stephen, I've been meaning to talk to you about Chris. I don't think she is the right person to help you with our book. This is for you. She is far too emotional. In the wrong way, I mean. You I can trust. You're the right person to be the biographer of Charles Sobhraj. But Chris is like me. Prisoner of her own preconceptions. Chris, I'm afraid, cannot be open to the real truth.
Got a telex from Bill this morning. Thinks we're moving too slow. I need to talk about the murders, Charles.
I've made a decision to talk to you about the cleanings.
Is that what you call them? Cleanings?
Yes, cleanings. But on the strict condition that we agreed. No one must ever hear what I'm about to tell you. These are things I've never told to another living soul.
Charles, it'll be in the book.
No book will stand up in court. Not even in a Thai court.
So you have killed?
Hong Kong sent me the name of several amateur drug couriers that would be coming to Bangkok. It was my job to give them a warning. Stephen, these were bad people. They knew the risk they were taking.
So we got into this really intense conversation, and we were really out of it. So when he asked me to sleep with his best friend, I thought, well, why not?
Meet Jenny, she's fantastic.
Hello.
Hello?
Vedmat here at Malaysia.
My name is Alain. This is AJ. He's going to help me find customers for my gems. Have you taken your medicine? How do you expect to get better again if you don't take your medicine, huh? So tell me, Jenny, where are you off to on your travels?
A Tibetan monastery in Kathmandu. You think it's weird for me to be drinking and talking about sex before going to a monastery?
Well, better to get it out of the way before, huh? No, I have studied most religions. And you know what I like particularly about Buddhism? Is that it accommodates all extremes of human behavior. But tell me, do you think you'll reach nirvana up there in those hills where the Buddha was born? Do you really have that much self-discipline?
I don't have a real lot of self-discipline, I guess. But I am working on it. How about you?
Well, to me, it is the most important quality a person can have. When I was a little boy, I was like you. Running around, here, there, searching for what? You know, something to believe in. The truth. And then I found it. It was here inside me. Where it had been all along. Before you go, Jenny, I would like you to join my wife and me for a weekend at Pattaya. It's a beautiful beach resort. We have a bungalow there.
Oh, great.
AJ was a smart boy, but I penetrated his mind so completely that I knew if I pulled the string, I could make him dance to any tune I wanted. You see, Stephen, AJ craved adventure above everything else. like it, Jenny?
Oh, sure, it's great.
Jenny, not now. Later. To life.
Cheers. But I thought we were going to your bungalow
Why?
for a weekend at the beach.
Who do you work for?
But I'm not working. I'm on my way to Kathmandu, remember?
Yes, I remember. Jenny, I don't think you're telling me the whole truth.
Yes, I am.
You have to take something to Kathmandu this trip, huh?
I don't know what you're talking about. And you're hurting me.
I think you have to carry something. Some powder, huh? You're being very silly not telling me about it.
Did you put something in my drink?
Uh-huh.
I'm feeling kind of weird.
It's just to help you relax. Easier to get to the truth, don't you think? Hey, wake up. What are you dreaming about? Take her for a swim. I think her last dream was having sex with a Buddhist Lama. Tell me, Stephen, do all these Western women have sex on their brain? I think they do.
How did you know she was a heroin trafficker?
Hong Kong.
Needed more information on this Hong Kong thing. Names, dates, phone numbers, something.
Stephen, what's happening between you and me is like the surgeon and the patient. Now, I'm allowing you to slice into my soul. And I'm feeling very bad about this. As if I've been unfaithful to myself.
What are you talking about?
Bill promised to send some money by now.
And until it arrives, you're not prepared to go any further. Is that it?
Tuesday night.
How badly is this mate of yours hurt?
Oh, not bad. Just a few abrasions.
Terry knows he can trust Arthur.
I've heard that before.
So why should this next job be any different?
Yeah, well, there are certain complications.
His next client seems glad to see him.
Terry here is the best.
Is he indeed?
But that could be the problem.
Oh, it's super.
Minder.
All right. You don't have to sit there to say whatever it is, do you?
9:30 Tuesday, only on 7.
C'est Perrier. C'est refreshing.
second great issue, out now.
They're coming to the National Tennis Centre, the greatest collection of rock and roll legends ever to perform live on the same stage. Chuck Berry, the Everly Brothers, Jerry Lee Lewis, Bo Diddley, Leslie Gore, Mary Wilson of the Supremes, Carl Joy. Ticket demand is so great that a second show is now on sale at the Centre and Bass. The Legends of Rock and Roll. Proudly sponsored by the new Toyota Lexan V6.
What's wrong with feeling?
It's always been a battle getting kids to clean their teeth. Now there's some great tasting ammunition. Aim Fresh Mint. Aim Fresh Mint, winning kids over in the war against plaque and decay.
For a versatile 35mm camera system, you'd need to get a big case of equipment, something like this. Or you could get a Ricoh Mirai, a complete SLR camera system in one neat package. A power zoom lens from 35 to 135mm, autofocus, exposure, flash, digital program readout, and of course, manual program shift. The Ricoh Mirai. For the first time, a complete SLR package in a camera, not a case.
One weekend a month, 2 weeks a year. Do something for yourself. Join the Army Reserve.
For information, call 662 2333.
This is the file of 5 murders that took place in Thailand.
May I?
Please.
The Thais had Sobhraj under arrest. Why did they let him go?
Money, pride. See, most of this evidence was collected by a Dutch diplomat and a French couple that live in the same building.
Francois and Annie.
The Thais are embarrassed to have a bunch of amateurs do such a brilliant stitch-up job. Made them lose face. Next time.
Why didn't you show us all this before?
I didn't have it before. It wasn't easy to get. Cost me a lot of money. Oh, that reminds me, I got a telex from Stephen this morning. Sobhraj has started to talk, but he wants more money.
How much have you paid him so far?
Plenty.
Bill, does it ever worry you that we're all cashing in on these murders?
You got a problem with this thing, Chris. You should have mentioned it before you took my money. Did you really think I was paying you 20 grand to come over here and have a honeymoon?
No, but I...
No buts. The guy isn't a psycho. We haven't got a story. So, Miss Royston, I suggest you just get on with the job. Leave the moralizing for the dinner table. Okay?
This Francois and Annie, they're still around? I need to talk to them.
That is where we lived.
And that apartment is where Sobhraj and Monique lived.
Of course, we did not know him then as Sobhraj, but as Alain Gauthier.
His gem business seemed to do well. He had lots of customers always coming and going. I think he was in love with money.
I think Monique knew what was going on.
She must have known something, huh? We suspected something. We were just neighbors.
He had two apartments. This one down here is where some people stayed for a few hours, others stayed for weeks. This is where he entertained his clients.
And his victims.
Always young travelers.
Yes, all were travelers. But not the usual penniless freaks, huh? They all had something to offer Charles. Something he wanted. Always business.
But the business was always to do with gems or drugs.
Or both.
Yes, or both. I'm sure of it now. At the time, it was hard to know what was going on. Sobhraj, he has a way of making people not see what they don't want to see.
Bonjour.
Hello. Cornelia Hamka.
I'm Enriquez Pitania.
Bonjour. You're friends of Alain?
Yeah, we met him in Hong Kong, and we come all that way to buy his jewels. Look, isn't it pretty? And so cheap. Alain is Santa Claus.
Ça va? Ça va, Monique?
Oh.
Poor Hank.
Is he all right?
Annie, please go upstairs with Monique. We have business to discuss.
Pardon. I'm sorry.
Come, we can have coffee.
Do you think the Dutch could have been drug couriers?
No, they were school teachers. They were, you know, bourgeois. They thought only of their trip of a lifetime and buying cheap diamonds from their good friend, Alain.
My God. Are you sick? This place is like a hospital.
Yeah, I think I get a fever.
Have you been to the hospital?
He does not need to do that. Alain is an expert on drugs and diseases. We look after him here better than any hospital can, and for free.
What's the matter with Alain? He was quite rude. It's not like him.
It's just his business. You know, he likes to keep it private.
Who's that couple?
The Dutch. I don't know. I don't like them. They are drug addicts. And they can't even speak proper French.
I thought they looked quite sweet. What was that noise?
Nothing, huh?
Oh, yes, Monique, I want to show this to you. Isn't this that girl who was here last week?
What one? I don't think so.
No, her name is the same, I'm sure.
You imagine things, Annie.
Oh, yes, it is her. Look, they think it might be murder. But here, did she go there with Alain, has she?
No, I don't think so. I didn't like her either.
What's the matter with you, Monique?
What's the matter with me? I live with a man who treats me like a servant. No, a slave. I do everything for him, and he only notices when I do something wrong. He pays attention only to punish me.
And now, Annie, it's nice to see you, but could you excuse us for a minute, please?
What's going on downstairs?
Downstairs? Oh, the Dutch are having some sort of fit. They're all right, AJ is with them.
Shouldn't you call a doctor?
We're taking them to the hospital. Thank you. Don't talk about me like that to people, my darling. It makes me lose my power over them.
Annie!
You look better.
Yes. Stop taking my medicine. Have you seen this? They've killed the Dutch.
But it says you're Australian.
They're guessing. It also says the woman's T-shirt was made in Holland.
It's them, I tell you.
But Alan and AJ only took them to the hospital 2 nights ago.
Hey, that's what they said they did, but I don't believe them, do you? Really? Look, we must go to the police. Together. We go in your car right now.
Yes?
Alan wants to see you, Ved. Upstairs. Now.
I come with you.
No. He wants to see him alone.
The next time we saw Ved, he was the burning body on the front of the newspaper.
What did you do?
We made this big report to the police. And finally, they decided to act.
Ah, Inspector, what is the meaning of all this?
Come with me.
I gave the police photos, made lists of everything in the apartment. Oh, mon Dieu. Cocky's handbag was still sitting on the sofa. The bathroom, it had more pills than a pharmacy. There were passports all over the place. It was incredible.
And then, unbelievably, they let him go. They just took the safe.
Weren't you frightened?
Oh, yes, of course. We still are. But no one else would do anything. We just wanted to stop that bastard, you know?
Kick up.
Dica.
Why did the police let him go?
You know, it'd give a lot to have been in that room to answer that question.
The final day of the oldest tournament in the world. Who will take the crown of crowns? Tonight on 7, the climax of the British Open.
Fred was up to his usual tricks off a googly from right with a flaming great 6 as it flew through the air. Blue let out a roar. 080114444.
There's no point crying, call Windscreens O'Brien.
They'll fix it. How may I help you?
For sure.
Windscreens O'Brien, the windscreen specialists with over 80 branches and 200 mobile units that'll come to you to replace door glass and front and rear windows at no extra cost. So remember the number.
080114444. Call Windscreens O'Brien. There's no point in crying.
Oh, no.
I'll get it.
They'll fix it.
For sure.
Dinner was magnificent.
Really? I've never cooked a meal like that before.
No, really. Oh, chocolate. I love Rocher.
Oh, you're just saying that.
I really do love Rocher.
No, I mean about dinner.
It was so good. You can have my last Rocher.
Uh-huh.
Well, if you can't spoil someone special, who can you spoil?
Share a Rocher.
At Mazda, we believe so strongly in the quality of our utes that we're the only ones to offer you an unlimited kilometre warranty. So you can treat them like dirt for 12 months and still remain fully covered. You get more from Mazda.
Every woman is an individual. That's why there's now a range of different Lux fragrances for every kind of skin.
At last, a beauty soap that's perfect for me.
The Lux Collection now understands your skin even better.
This is Loch Ness. There's a local legend that the Loch Ness Monster will surface for a glass of Bell's Scotch. They say she'll come up for Bell. It's been blended with their finest single malt whiskies for 150 years. She takes it with too much water anyway. Bell, blended with the finest single malt whiskies for 150 years.
Mummy! It's Devondale country!
Devondale country? Hello, dear. Like to taste some Devondale coffee?
Devondale,
Yes,
the
please.
best cheese in the country. Mild, vintage and tasty. Australian Colby too.
Tastes sort of different, doesn't it?
Yeah, you can taste the Devondale country, can't you? Devondale, the country cheese that's come to town.
Next on Hinch.
In this reserve of 400, anyone who was old enough to lift a bottle drank themselves into oblivion.
The story of a tribe of Indians with 100% alcoholism. The entire tribe beat the booze, and then they made a movie about it. It's an inspiration. Next on Hinch.
Janitor, janitor.
Good morning, Stephen.
Morning.
How are you today, Charles? Hey, it's just for these bastards here, you know?
It's not the way I do business, Charles. Now can we talk about the Dutch?
Dutch. They came straight to the apartment from Hong Kong. On the first day, I started to put stuff in their coffee. The next day, I put some more. It's just to help them relax, you know? If people are relaxed, they're more likely to tell the truth.
Truth about what? The heroin?
Mm-hmm. I had my orders from Hong Kong. I was to question them.
And what did they say?
They went to Chiang Mai to buy heroin.
Their embassy's positive they had nothing to do with drugs.
Stephen, the Dutch embassy, what do they know?
Okay. So what happened then? So you burnt them alive?
I had to make a big impression. It had to be a warning to others.
You had no proof they were couriers.
Why else would I do it? The proof is that I let AJ kill them. You've seen the damage heroin has done to your country. I was doing you a favor. I should get a medal.
So you're saying it was your quest to rid the world of drug dealers?
Mm-hmm.
Charles, you were working for drug dealers yourself.
Their plans are no concern of mine. I simply took the opportunity to perform a service. Stephen, I'm telling you the truth. That is what I promised to do, and I'm doing it for you. only for you.
Point again. The facade of reasonableness, intelligence, and charm that masks an evil thug who befriends and kills innocent travelers for his own gain, and even worse, for his own amusement.
There is the notion Charles Sobhraj may be an innocent victim rather than a guilty monster. Whatever the dubious morality of his quest, the ends may, after all, justify the means.
No, I'm fine, thank you.
She's mad. She writes to me every week.
Thank you, my darling, for writing such a sexy song. I get your message on the radio.
Look, she spells radio with an E.
I cried all night long. I don't sleep. Listen to your radio now.
Go
and
away.
you'll hear my reply. Writing about 30 songs a day and doing my exercises and building up my muscles so I will be as strong and as beautiful as you.
She sends me a photograph. Have you ever seen anything so ugly? Look at this, Stephen. Hundreds of women all in love with me.
I know a lot of guys that love to have your problems, Charles.
Not you, huh, Stephen?
Let me help you.
Take this. Can I see that?
Is Mr. Carey upstairs?
Yes?
Well, Stephen, maybe we have a new job for you, eh? That's okay, you can keep it.
Voila, so simple.
Chris, I'm sorry. I forgot.
What's going on? What the hell are they doing here?
They helped me with the book.
Get out of here. Tell them to get out of here.
Chris,
Come on. Get out of here.
you calm down.
Don't tell me to calm down. Just get them out of here.
Call you later.
What do you think you're doing, Stephen? Forging passports in the room, for Christ's
They were
sake?
teaching me the technique so I could describe it properly in the book.
They're going to throw him into jail. Rapinda's downstairs right now.
I care less about Rapinda. Don't worry, I blocked up the hole anyway.
That's not the point.
Will you relax?
Oh, wake up to yourself, Stephen. You've been seduced. It's that simple.
You want to discuss this rationally?
Yeah. Let's talk about this rationally.
What?
The facts, Stephen, about Charles Sobhraj. Charles Sobhraj, the liar. Charles Sobhraj, the sadist. Charles Sobhraj, the murderer.
That's great, Chris. Look, whatever he is, making this thing into some kind of personal crusade isn't going to prove a
Oh,
damn
don't
thing.
patronize me.
I'm not patronizing
Look,
you.
I just don't want to end up writing a book that glorifies the bastard.
I'm not going to write a book that glorifies the bastard. I'm going to write a book that describes him. And I'm not so sure you're the best person to help me do this anymore. You know, maybe Charles is right. Maybe you are too emotional for this job. Chris, there's hundreds of people dying in the street right outside this hotel. And you're hysterical about the deaths of a couple of drug dealers. It doesn't make sense.
I can't help you anymore, Stephen. Whether they were drug dealers or not, and most of them weren't, there are no excuses for murder. You come to terms with that, I've got some more to tell you.
Chris, where are you going? Don't!
Now comes the concluding chapter of a bizarre true story.
My brother Charles has gone over to the devil.
How many times did Sobhraj kill?
Were they just will killing?
Will the truth be concealed by corruption?
Do not threaten me, Mr. Kiri.
And will Sobhraj lose the faith of the one person who trusts him?
Don't touch me.
I want him to tell me the truth.
Telling you the truth, and I'll believe you.
Lies! Shadow of the Cobra.
No one can stop me.
Concludes tomorrow on 7.
Tomorrow night at 8:30, join us for the bizarre conclusion to Shadow of the Cobra. Wednesday at 8:30, Matthew Broderick and Ali Sheedy star in the nail-biting thriller War Games. A high school computer whiz taps into an amazing new video game, a war between the two great superpowers. War Games, a gripping thriller, 8:30 this Wednesday here on 7.
This program was brought to you by State Bank Victoria. We never forget. It's your money.
In Home and Away,
I think you owe us all an explanation.
why is this young girl terrified of her own father?
You're certain you never want to see your father again?
I'd rather die.
What traps her in his iron grip?
You win.
Oh, you're a wicked girl, Aviva. And evil people must be punished.
Monday at 6 on 7. Do you ever get the feeling that some banks aren't that interested in helping small businesses? If so, talk to CBFC, because at CBFC we specialise in helping the small businessman rather than the big businessman. CBFC, specialists in small business finance.
Is it a game or is it real?
3.
Matthew Broderick,
2.
Ali Sheedy.
1. War Games.
Wednesday night on 7.
The 1989 British Open is brought to you by Holden Motor Company, Australian Airlines, and Voca Communications.
once again from Royal Troon, and welcome to the final day of the 118th Open, and what a magnificent day it is. The question will be asked today, can Wayne Grady win his first major? Well, if you stay with us on the Australian Television Network, you'll be finding out throughout the night. We've got a magnificent day for golf, conducive again to low scores. We're expecting a temperature in the low 20s, around the 23-degree mark. It's dry and warm, a little bit of cloud overhead, and only a very light westerly breeze. Let's have a look at the leaderboard, because Wayne Grady so far has withstood the challenges, and yesterday they came thick and fast, particularly from Tom Watson. Grady is at 12 under, Watson at 11 under, a stroke further back to Payne Stewart at 10 under, and then two more Americans, Fred Couples and Mark Calcavecchia, along with Ireland's David Ferretti at 9 under. Paul Azinger is at 8 under, along with Jody Mudd. And players already out on the course and performing pretty well. Nick Faldo, after 5 today, has moved to 7 under. Greg Norman has also picked up 2 birdies in the opening 2 holes to move to 7 under. Jose Maria Olazabal is also at that score with Mark McCumber, and Pate is 7 under as well, with Derek Cooper of England 6 under after 12. So the scene is set for really a fantastic day and great television viewing. And Jack, as I welcome you, Wayne Grady could have no better birthday present in 3 days' time than that little cup.
No, he certainly couldn't, and there's a lot of people here who think he can win it. I think he can win it. I think he's the right age. He's 31. He's had a lot of experience. Tom Watson, of course, has just as much pressure on him. He's trying to do something that nobody, I believe, will ever do again in the modern era of golf, and that is win 6 British Opens. And with the weather like it is, what they've got to be careful of is that they don't sort of get into a head-to-head type match play situation, and someone like Calcavecchia or Fred Couples, both capable of shooting low scores, come up and beat both of them.
I want you to give me one name. Who's going to be leading at the end of the day?
Well, I obviously would love to see Wayne Grady win, and I put my money on Tom Watson early in the week, and I think he's going to be awfully hard to beat.
All right, Jack, once again, we look forward to your comments. Let's have a look at the Australian leaderboards as it stands at the moment, with Wayne Grady standing out at 12 under par. Greg Norman, as I mentioned, has made a very positive start, picking up 2 birdies. He is at 7 under. Ian Baker Finch has played 2 so far today, and par for both. He is at 5 under. David Graham 3 under after 9. Zuma Woodland 1 under after 17. Mike Harwood is 1 under after 11, and Brett Ogle is 3 over and has completed his round. Now the tee times, we've got all of those players except Wayne Grady out on the course. Local time is on the left-hand side, and Australian Eastern time is on the right-hand side of your screen. As I said, Wayne Grady, the only Australian not yet out on the course. The third round was fantastic, with Tom Watson producing some superb golf, and as we mentioned, Wayne Grady withstanding the challenges. Let's have a look at some of the highlights of day 3.
This is the first short hole. Quite a wide target. I know it doesn't look very deep there, but that's quite inaccurate, but he's played a great recovery shot.
That's a great bunker shot from Wayne.
Chipping down the slope, this 10th green slopes from back to front. And he's holed it.
Wayne Grady to save par at 14. And a great putt.
Great putt.
Has he holed it?
Superb shot.
So, Wayne Grady now for par to retain outright leadership. And he gets it. Tom Watson, birdie putt.
Get it, get it, get it!
And what a start for Watson. Well, we're seeing some great golf here on the third round of the Open. Here's Tom Watson at the postage stamp, 126-yard, par 3. Shortest hole in championship golf, and a beauty.
Tom Watson at 13, second shot. And looks happy. What a great shot. What a great pitch.
Playing some superb golf, Tom Watson.
Starting the day at 7 under, 4 birdies and 14 pars.
Yes, it was a great day yesterday, and we're looking for the same today. And I can tell you, Greg Norman has birdied the first 3 holes today. He is now 8 under, and who knows, anything can happen in this game, and Greg Norman may just be the man to do it. But of course, we're also pinning our hopes on Wayne Grady. One man, sadly, who cannot be out there, but he's in the second best spot, is Roger Davis with us in the commentary position this afternoon. Roger, and, well, do you think Grades can do it?
I think he can. I've played a lot with Grades, and normally when Grades is in the thick of things and swinging well, which he was yesterday, as we saw, he hangs around and he's very hard to move, and I think the weather will be in his favour.
Is it any concern at all that he hasn't played with Tom Watson before?
I think that's an added pressure for him, but, you know, his rhythm is so good yesterday. I mean, playing with Payne Stewart, and Payne was hitting it well, and, you know, they were both a little bit scratchy on the front 9 with the putter, but, you know, I mean, Gray's just hung in there, and as we saw on 14, he's only 1 bad tee shot into the bunker, played safe out of the bunker sideways, didn't go for the flag and hold the 25-footer. You know, that's a guy thinking properly. You know, he could have gone for the flag, taken double bogey or whatever, but he, you know, and he finished up salvaging a par.
Roger, we look forward to your comments throughout the afternoon on the Australian. Today is Pat Walsh. Welcome, Pat.
Sandy, thank you. Yes, I'm certainly looking forward to it. Magnificent match, particularly from the Australian Wayne Grady. I'm certainly looking forward to it. I, of course, will be following that group this afternoon, Sandy.
And I'm going to move from here because there's a ball that's just landed 6 feet away from me, so I'll head to the commentary position. Already there is Jack Newton.
Tom Kite, who came so close in the US Open a few weeks ago, walks from the first green. Kite 5 under overnight after rounds of 70, 74 and 67. And there's a look at the magnificent Firth of Clyde, or the Clyde Estuary as it's sometimes known, and that really indicates how beautiful the weather has been here for 4 days. I've been to many British Opens and played in 12, and I've never seen 4 days consistently as good as this at a British Open. Nick Faldo, who's got away to a good start. Started the day 4 under. He's now 7 under, as he did yesterday. Very fast start. Just let things get away from him in the middle stages yesterday.
This is game number 34 on the tee. Roger Chapman.
Jose Maria Olazabal. Practice his putting before he goes out. Most of the players usually take 30 to 45 minutes to warm up on the practice fairway, and then putt for 10 or 15 minutes before they tee off. First tee is just off to the left as we look at the screen. And of course that's the situation with the big movers, of course Greg Norman in particular, who really let things get away yesterday. Got to 8 under, playing the 11th yesterday, dropped a stroke at the easy.